Like, DMX was crazy.
What was it like being around DMX?
DMX was dangerous, man.
Straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it, nigga. Bring it. I don't. Bring it. Bring it.
Welcome back to your daily dose of scandal and glamour. In Los Angeles, crews like the LA Crips expect rappers to check in when they touch down, a move that's led to more than a few ugly run-ins. But when they tried pulling that stunt on DMX, they found out quick. His rep wasn't just talk, man, it was dangerous and very real. We're talking about DMX, the raw, unpredictable force who treated prison like a revolving door. This man didn't just bark on tracks, he lived every bit of that energy. The whole checking in game has been running for years now. Gangs basically extorting artists just for showing face in certain cities. They even gave it an official name, Checking In. Big U, one of the main muscle men behind this so-called system, has been locked up for it and still bragged about it. He once broke it down like it was some kind of political science lecture, comparing it to flying through restricted airspace. His point? You can't just roll into certain hoods without permission. But here's the wild part. Folks have noticed this so-called rule mostly gets thrown at black rappers and celebrities.
And nobody in this nigga crew running behind him to stop this nigga, so I'm like...
It's like they're gatekeeping their own community. And if there was ever someone you couldn't play that game with, it was DMX. Trying to press him into checking in, that was a mistake you didn't come back from. DMX was built different. Raw, fearless, and ready for smoke at any moment. Fat Joe even spilled one jaw-dropping story. He, DMX, and Big Pun had just wrapped a show and stopped for gas. Out of nowhere, some guy strolls in wearing a flashy chain in DMX. He didn't ask questions. He walked right up and snatched it right there in the gas station. That was the type of energy DMX carried everywhere. No filter, no fear. All smoke if you asked for it.
What was it like being around DMX?
DMX was dangerous, man. When you around him, he's like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Very unpredictable.
And then you got the Aries Spears story. According to Aries, he was at an event trying to hustle his comedy CD, moving through the crowd, getting celebs to endorse it. And DMX was on his list. But DMX, he still hadn't forgotten those impressions Aries used to do of him, and apparently he wasn't laughing. Aries says DMX looked him dead in the eye and went, "Yo, X needs to holla." Next thing you know, DMX leads him into a locker room. And almost 30 dudes follow in behind them, closing in like a scene out of a movie. The bodyguard slams the door shut, plants himself in front of it, and now Aries is surrounded. DMX starts grilling him about the impressions, and Aries is trying to smooth it over, saying it was just for fun, no disrespect. Then, in true DMX fashion,
when I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry.
Aries tries to slide in his CD pitch like nothing's wrong. That's when DMX hits him with, "Come to my hotel later, let me hear it. If it's good, cool. If it's not." And then comes the growl, the kind that makes the room go quiet. And just to seal the intimidation, Aries swears DMX pulled a razor blade from under his tongue. After that, Aries says there was no way he was going anywhere near that hotel. Even Jay Pharoah's got a wild DMX story. He says they were performing on stage together. DMX was so hyped, fists flying in the air, that he accidentally clocked Jay right in the face mid-set. Man, then there's the time DMX had rappers straight up running for their lives. Memphis Bleek once told a story about Bad Boy Records chilling on the beach in Miami. Mace rolls up on a scooter, all casual, and the second DMX spots him, he takes off chasing Mace down like it's a street hunt. Bleek, seeing DMX for the first time, was stunned. This was not just another rapper, this was a force of nature.
Me, him, and Big Pun in Brooklyn. And after the show, we stopped at the gas station. Meanwhile, the whole crowd was just going, "Stop, shut him down, open up, chop, oh." Like, DMX was crazy.
And when it came to beef, DMX feared no one. He didn't care about titles, reputations, or even gang ties. And that's exactly what brought him into the crosshairs with Crips. Now, Crips wasn't just any rapper. He was a well-known West Coast name, a member of the Crips, and managed by Big U, one of the most feared figures in the rolling 60s. But DMX, he didn't blink. The tension got so heavy that Crips ended up in the middle of a deadly situation. 2 of his bodyguards were killed, and Crips barely escaped with his life. Whispers started flying that DMX might have had a hand in it, and given his wild reputation, plenty of people believed it. To understand why this clash was so explosive, you gotta rewind to the early 90s. Back then, DMX was running New York's underground rap scene like an unchallenged king, while Kurupt was just beginning to break out on the West Coast. By '92, at only 19 years old, Kurupt and his close friend Daz Dillinger signed to Death Row Records. Together, they formed Tha Dog Pound.
We on stage, right, and we doing Party Up and we killing it, you know what I'm saying? DMX accidentally snuffs me. That's some real shit. I was like, wow, this nigga's knuckles is hard as a motherfucker.
DMX accidentally.
He accidentally snuffed me.
How?
Is he just
going
No,
out?
look.
Like,
1, 2, now. He hit me.
Ready outside.
Oh, shit.
Ready
I was like,
outside.
God dang.
With Kurupt repping the Rollin' 60 Crips and Daz repping the Rollin' 20 Crips from Long Beach. Before long, Tha Dog Pound expanded into a powerhouse crew, the Dog Pound Gangsta Clique, stacked with West Coast heavyweights like Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, and RBX. The Dog Pound really made their mark when they popped up all over Dr. Dre's 1992 classic, The Chronic. The next year, they were all over Snoop Dogg's legendary debut, Doggy Style. Not just dropping verses, but showing up in skits that cemented them as key soldiers in Death Row's golden era. By '94, Kurupt and Daz were ready to claim the spotlight for themselves. They launched the rollout for their debut album, Dog Food, with the single, What Would You Do? A track that hit so hard it even grabbed a Grammy nomination in '96 for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group. Then Halloween 1995 rolled around and Dog Food dropped like a bomb. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, moving over 270,000 copies in the first week. Overnight, Tha Dog Pound went from Snoop's proteges to one of the hottest duos in hip-hop. By '96, Kurupt's career wasn't the only thing heating up, his love life was too. He started dating Brooklyn rapper Foxy Brown.
Oh, get back here. Wait till I catch you, nigga. So, you know me, I'm in the back seat like, what happened between him and Mace? Like, who is this nigga? And nobody in this nigga crew running behind him to stop this nigga. So I'm like, who?
And by '97, they were officially engaged. Meanwhile, over on the East Coast, DMX was coming in like a wrecking ball. After signing with Def Jam, he dropped his debut single, Get At Me Dog, in February 1998, and the title alone told you he wasn't playing. The track blew up, peaking at number 39 on the Billboard Hot 100 and putting the entire industry on notice. That same year, DMX unleashed his classic debut album, It's Dark and Hell Is Hot, a record that didn't just make noise, it shook the game. But then things took a turn. By mid-98, whispers started spreading. DMX and Foxy Brown, Kurupt's fiancé at the time, were allegedly hooking up behind his back. According to Foxy Brown, it was Rough Rider's own Eve who lit the match. Foxy claims Eve ran to Kurupt, telling him something was going on between her and DMX. That little whisper didn't just cause tension, it cracked their whole circle in half. Suddenly, it wasn't just DMX versus Kurupt. Now Foxy and Eve were at odds too. Foxy swore up and down that nothing serious happened, insisting DMX just had a crush. She accused Eve of blowing everything out of proportion and stirring the pot just for drama. But the timing couldn't have been worse. Foxy and DMX were label mates on Def Jam and touring together all summer for the Survival of the Illest tour.
He killed 2 of his bodyguards. They're trying to kill him. Killed 2 of his bodyguards. They blamed it on me because he made a song about me. Even though nobody really heard the song. You know, being that he made a song about me, I had to be the one doing it. I'm not pissed off at a whack.
Then, in December 1998, DMX came back swinging with his second album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. The project was an instant classic, but one track, Bring Your Whole Crew, had everybody's antennas up. On it, DMX spits about being out for blood, throws in lines about the Crips being at war, a clear needle at Kurupt's gang ties, and even questions how much trash someone can talk with their lips on the floor. He calls someone a B, drops a fake pit reference, and paints a picture of choking and killing an enemy. Fans didn't need a roadmap. They tied it straight to Kurupt, saying the fake pit line was a jab at Tha Dog Pound, comparing Kurupt to a knockoff pit bull. And whether it was confirmed or not, the timing made it too obvious to ignore. And by early '99, things went from tension to flat-out smoke when Kurupt heard DMX had been hanging around Foxy Brown behind his back. The escalation was fast. On January 26, 1999, Foxy dropped her China Doll album. And right there on the track list, Dog and a Fox featuring DMX. That Dog and a Fox collab didn't just confirm Foxy and DMX were spending time together. It was like rubbing salt in Kurupt's wounds. According to Kurupt, the whole concept for that track was supposed to be a duet between him and Foxy. If that's true, then what happened wasn't just shade, it was a straight-up betrayal. By now, the DMX-Kurupt tension was no longer just industry whispers. It was an open wound. Kurupt was working on his second album, Tha Streets Is a Muta, and decided he wasn't going to dance around the drama. He went right for the jugular with a diss track called Calling Out Names, taking aim at multiple people, DMX, 50 Cent, and Ja Rule, all in one go. The track leaked months before the album dropped, and it was pure chaos from the first verse. Kurupt calls DMX a motherfucking D, and makes it clear the only X he respects is Exhibit or RBX. Then he accuses DMX of trying to steal his girl Foxy Brown, but says he can have her, calling both Foxy and DMX greedy and clout chasing. Kurupt doesn't stop there. He warns DMX that if he ever sets foot on the West Coast, he'll be stripped and beaten over a female. Then, in a final twist of the knife, he brags that he's already moved on with a new girl, turning it into another jab at Foxy and the mess around her. By the second verse, Kurupt's focus shifts to the Rough Riders as a whole, making it crystal clear he's got no love for anyone in that camp, except Eve. That little bit of respect Kurupt threw Eve's way only seemed to back up Foxy Brown's claim that Eve was the one who ran to him with the story about her and DMX. From there, Kurupt went full scorched earth, spitting F Rough Riders, F the Firm, and F Belly. The Firm, of course, was the supergroup Foxy was part of with Nas, and Belly was the 1998 cult classic film starring DMX and Nas. These weren't random names. The shots were aimed right at DMX and Foxy, with Nas catching strays because he'd publicly co-signed the DMX-Foxy situation in an extra large interview, even saying Foxy should have been with someone from New York. To rub it in, Kurupt closes the track by mocking DMX's legendary "Get at me, dog," mimicking his growl and turning it into a sarcastic taunt. In the original cut of Calling Out Names, he even starts the track by clowning DMX directly. But the words didn't just stay on wax. Not long after Kurupt's diss drop, things got deadly. On October 17, 1999, around 11:40 p.m., Kurupt was at Echo Sound Studios in Los Angeles, finishing up Tha Streets Is a Muta. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. By the time it was over, Kurupt's bodyguard, Dwayne Dupree, had been hit multiple times in the chest and didn't survive. Two other rappers, Willard Givens and Jevin Jones, were wounded, one in the calf, the other in the foot. The streets lit up with speculation, the timing, the beef, the fresh diss. People immediately started whispering that DMX might have had something to do with the hit. Nothing was confirmed, but in that climate, just the rumor alone was enough to turn the tension nuclear. A spokesperson for DMX wasted no time trying to shut the rumors down, saying DMX is in Miami recording his album. It's unfortunate this incident happened. I just got off the phone with him. He doesn't know anything about it. DMX himself denied having any part in the shooting, but even with the official statements, the whispers didn't disappear. His rep, his temper, the timing, it all kept the speculation alive in the streets. People weren't saying it out loud on record, but behind closed doors, they were connecting dots. Then, a month later, on November 16, 1999, Kurupt dropped Tha Streets Is a Muta, and as expected, Calling Out Names made the cut with all its unfiltered shots at DMX. But Kurupt wasn't done. On another track, Who Ride With Us, he took the trolling up a notch. At the end of the song, there's a skit where he's flipping through fake radio stations. And one station features a parody of DMX, complete with someone imitating his voice. It was mockery on top of mockery. DMX wasn't about to let that slide. On December 21st, 1999, he came back swinging with his third album. And then there was X. It included one of his biggest hits ever, Party Up, Up in Here. Most people remember it as a rowdy club anthem, but for those tuned into the beef, it played like a heat-seeking diss aimed straight at Kurupt. From the very first line, "Y'all gon' make me lose my mind up in here, DMX was setting the tone. The track drips with threats, humiliation, and the kind of energy that made it clear this wasn't just for the dance floor. DMX didn't hold back. In Party Up, he takes aim at cowards and swipes at Kurupt's crew, warning they could get done quick. For fans already connecting dots, that line hit differently, especially when he raps about a gun clicking and fights breaking out over some dumb ish. It felt like a shadowy nod to the Echo Sound Studio shooting. Then came the second verse, and it got personal. DMX calls out rappers as nothing more than characters, not even good actors. A line many heard as a straight shot at Kurupt. He labels someone whack and twisted, then dives into his personal life, referring to Foxy Brown as a hoe. That was no random insult. It was a direct swing at Kurupt through the Foxy Brown mess. DMX also vents about men fighting over women who don't belong to them. Another razor-edge jab that tied right back to the love triangle drama. By the third verse, the gloves are off. DMX warns, you keep running your mouth, you're gonna blow your lung out, hinting at permanent silence for his enemies. Then comes a darker suggestion. making someone go missing. A lyric that only poured gasoline on the theory that he might have known more about the studio shooting than he admitted. But what made Party Up such a brutal counterpunch wasn't just the aggression, it was the scale. The track exploded worldwide, dominating clubs, radio, and movie soundtracks. For Crips, hearing his rival mock and threaten him on that big of a stage wasn't just beef, it was public humiliation. DMX didn't need another diss track. He turned one of the most successful songs of his career into a weapon, proving that sometimes the loudest victory comes disguised as a hit record. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.